Little did we know, everybody else in Greensboro was going to pick up the same pair. So we get to the mall, and the line is literally wrapped around the store. And a few moments later, the manager comes out and says, "Hey guys, we have 30 pairs of sneakers." There are more than 100 people in line. We know we're not getting them, but we decided to stay around just to see what was about to happen. And I'm glad we did, because what we saw was pretty surprising. The sneaker was retailing at $160. The guy who got the sneakers, one of the first 30 there, he came out and there was a guy who was like, "I'll give you $400 for that sneaker right now." He didn't sell it. But what that did for me that entire night was it made me think about the 70 people who were in line, who had their money and were prepared to pay for that sneaker. And my mind, the wheels began to turn, and that's when I was like, yo, I figured this thing out. The problems in the sneaker community, as we know it today, are two. It's accessibility and affordability. Accessibility is, can I get to a place that has the sneakers? How far is it away? And once I get there, can I afford it? The issue is that most people can't get to the places, but when they finally get there, they're like the other 70 guys who only have 160 bucks. I can't afford to pay $400 for them, so I don't have the affordability. This sneaker right here is kind of the shoe that broke the internet, to say. It's a Nike Air Yeezy 2. They call it the Red October. This sneaker came out February the 9th, 2014. It retailed at 250 bucks. 2 days ago, guess how much this sneaker sold for? $9,749. This shoe alone since year to date generates $48 per hour in the secondary sneaker market. So, and this happens 1,000 times a day on what we call rare sneakers, $300 and above. So, thinking about those 70 guys, I was like, hey, I gotta figure it out. I said, what we're gonna do is create a market just like that of the housing market. So the housing market crash that took place in 2008, I'm a finance student. I got a degree in finance during the housing market crash. If you guys know anything about the primary, secondary, and tertiary markets, I said, we're gonna create a sneaker derivatives market because that is where the biggest numbers are. We can get the greatest amounts of returns, and the people are there. So our solution is simple. We'll go get the sneaker. We'll bring it to those people, those guys that are like the 70 guys in line that have the money for the sneakers. They'll never be able to afford anything above $300. God forbid $9,000. We'll bring it to them and we'll give them an opportunity to have it because it's not a loss for them. 5, 10, 20 bucks for an opportunity for this sneaker. And we can leverage tens of thousands of people who are looking at these sneakers per day. And there's no limit to the amount of lotteries that we can do. Model is simple, just like I said. We're leveraging those on the tertiary market, the guys who have enough money to show up to the place, but all they can do is window shop. We leverage these guys and we can begin to get some pretty obscene returns on these sneakers. The biggest challenge for us has been, wait, that's good. I didn't know it stops there. The biggest challenge for us initially was, how do we get the sneakers? But as this market has continued to grow, and I continued to study what was taking place in the market, there's a company now that is nationwide that you'll see in a moment. They're called StockX. They have become the single greatest player in the secondary market. 2015 was when they were created. Their last round of evaluation was at $1 billion, and this is just in 5 years. So December is the biggest month for Jordans. It's Christmas time. Everybody's parents got a little more disposable income or willing to go a little more into debt, whichever way you look at it. And there's a pair of Jordans that comes out that everybody wants. These right here are the Bread 11s, the one that I have on my feet right now. So what I decided to do, I said, hey, we're gonna go out and see if we can prove this concept. I stay in Rutherford County, which is socioeconomically one of the poorer counties in the state of North Carolina. Not a lot of disposable income, but people love their sneakers. So I gave us 1 week. We were selling tickets at $5 a pop. I didn't want to do any marketing, and I wanted to do it to mostly strangers. The things that we found out that were most alarming to us, the most alarming was people didn't even care what size it was. They just knew that I can get this sneaker for $5 and I don't have to pay anything else. I was like, you don't have to pay anything else. They were buying multiple tickets and it wasn't even their size because they were like, I can give it to somebody or I can turn around and sell it for $200, $300. That right there let us know that, hey, the market is primed and ready. We just need to be the ones to beat everybody else to this punch. So this was one of our winners of the sneaker that we sold in December. The retail market is valued at around $70 billion right now. So my question was, is this thing going to continue to grow? Because we're talking about sneakers. We're not like we're talking about houses or cars or land. We're talking about shoes that kids ruin every single day. And statistics continue to prove that not only is it here, but it's going to continue to grow. By 2025, it's going to be around $95 billion. But what's more important is the secondary market is going to be at $6 billion. Currently, it sits at $1 billion. So it's going to grow 6 times from now to 2025. And this untapped potential is where we're trying to play, the tertiary market. So here's the layout for sneakers in our town today. Where everybody wants to shop is accessible and affordable, but nobody has taken the time to figure out how to make rare sneakers accessible and affordable. StockX, like I said, they figured out how to make them accessible, but they're so expensive that all kids can do is look at them. So we're just moving from this part of the quadrant to that part of the quadrant, which is going to allow us to get returns that sky's the limit. So my ask today is $100,000, three simple things. It's app development, it's marketing, and it's the right inventory. I know what the sneaker guys are. I've been shopping, I've been in these communities, I've been to the sneaker events. I know what they are, I know what they're looking for, I know how to get to them. It's like standing in a forest and I got 1,000 tons of gasoline. I just need someone to throw me a match. So this is it. This is the sneaker market, and like I said, it's not going anywhere. Thank you, guys.
I have a question for you. I don't want you to answer. Don't want you to raise your hand. I want you to think about it. How many of you have HIV? How many of you have hepatitis C? Don't really want to discuss it right here in a room full of strangers. Why should you have to discuss it here? Between foot cream, lip balm, and your nosy neighbors. There's an alternative. Mail order. We've all been here. Easy to get lost. This might work for Danielle Steele's latest bestseller, but this does not work for life-saving or life-sustaining medicines. How about this? This is where we see patients, where we discuss issues about their condition, about their drugs. We took everything we hated about pharmacy and got rid of it. And this is what we have left. Wouldn't we rather have those conversations here? I'm Dr. Jay Worthington, and along with Dr. Jay Gresson, we founded Appalachian Specialty Pharmacy. We are an accredited specialty pharmacy. What is it? What does that mean? Well, we're a pharmacy. We fill prescriptions. Everybody knows how pharmacy works. It's fill a prescription. We're special. What that means is we focus on very complicated diseases. And what happens with those very complicated diseases is that they often require very expensive medicines. What makes us different even further is that we're an accredited specialty pharmacy. That is what gives us access to the drugs, ability to buy them, fill them, but importantly, bill for them. Now, there's a problem with this model. It's that those expensive specialty meds often have very low margin, 5%. We figured out how to contract with local clinics, regional clinics, and leverage a federal program to purchase these specialty meds at deep discounts. And this allows us to drive our margin from 5% to double digits. Why is everybody else not doing this? Well, it is complicated. That's the simple version of this channel, right there. But we've figured out how to do it. How do we know it works? Our first contract came fully online in September of 2019. We had been in business since January, did about $50,000 of business the entire first 8 months of the year. That contract became active, and we finished the year just under $1 million. So just over the last quarter, and then some. So far this year, we had our second contract in January of this year. And through February, we've done over $600,000 in revenue. So we